Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be sharing a review on the Fendi Mini Roll, which is one of the newest additions to my collection. I'll be sharing more on the features, size comparisons and what fits, the pros and cons, and then I'll leave you with my overall thoughts on this bag. So if we haven't met, my name is Jo, and I'm a lover of all luxury bags and beauty. If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe, and be sure to click the notification button so you're notified every time I post a new video. So my husband and I were recently on a trip to Vegas, and whenever we visit Vegas, I do some shopping. So I covered the whole trip in my recent, and I should note, my first ever vlog. And so if you like watching shopping vlogs, or if you're just curious what I look like, you can definitely check out that video. I also did a follow-on video where I revealed all of the items that I purchased on that trip. So if you'd also like to see the other things that I got, I'll be sure to include a link right here in the top right corner, and as well as in the description below. So this Fendi bag was one of the bags that I picked up during the trip, and once I saw it, I just knew I had to have it. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the features of this bag. So this bag is very similar to the Neverfull BB, which we'll be comparing in a bit, but there are some obvious differences. So the bag is a textured jacquard woven fabric, and it's not canvas. So I would argue it's probably going to be a little more delicate than, say, a canvas bag. Now it has a zipper top closure, which you know that I love. And then it does have the two D-rings here so that I could attach this crossbody strap, or you could take out the straps altogether and just wear this as a really cute mini top handle bag. So I love the interior of the bag in that it has these stripes on the inside. I think it's a really nice contrast. The only drawback here is that there isn't any interior pockets on the bag at all. And as you can see, the bottom and everything, it's all in this material, so it's not really lined in anything else. Now, there aren't any feet at the bottom of the bag, but I often will add my magnetic handbag heels from the Gal's Guide, and we'll go into more details on that later. In terms of dimensions, the bag is about 9.5 inches across the top, about 6.5 inches at the bottom, 5 inches tall, and 4 inches deep. The bag is currently $1,750 US, and it is available on the retail website as well as in stores. It also comes in a few other colors as well, to include a denim blue and then the original Zuka print. So also, can we just note, I feel like I found the perfect bag charm situation. Like, this makes me so happy. I really just feel like I like the colors that this brings together. So this star, I think all three of these, no, these two I got from Amazon. So this little furry star, and this came with a set of other bag charms. And then this came from a Steve Madden bag charm. So I will link all three of these down below, but I just feel like the little pop of blue and the pink and how this star's like little bit of shading here really matches the dove. Just looks really cute. So I do think this bag definitely calls for bag charms to be added to it, and I just love this whole look. So let's go ahead and talk about what fits, and then we'll also do some size comparisons. I just threw a bunch of things in here. So we've got my mini O case, my phone. This is the iPhone 14 Pro. I've got my card holder, key pouch, hand sanitizer, a mirror. This is from Rode. My earbuds, some lotion, perfume, 2 lippies, a comb, and some gum. All right, so let's do a size comparison with the Neverfull BB. So obviously this is probably the closest comparison. And as you can see, the Neverfull BB is just a hair larger. You can see it's probably like, I want to say like a centimeter, maybe a half an inch taller than the Mini Roll. In terms of length, they're pretty darn close. I would think, again, the Neverfull is just a bit longer as well. However, something to note is that when you're looking at the depth, the Mini Roll is definitely wider at the bottom than the Neverfull is. So in case you're curious, here's how everything fit in the Neverfull BB. That was what I had just taken out of the Mini Roll. So as you can see, everything fits. I did have to get a little creative and put the key pouch kind of standing up this way, which it can do because, again, this bag is a little taller. But there wasn't a place for my AirPods or my earphones. These aren't really AirPods. And so I had to kind of rest it on the top here, but that's okay because, again, everything does zip with no issue. So I would say this one could probably hold a little bit more than the Mini Roll. It just would kind of have to pile up a little higher. And here's just another quick reference because I know the Alma BB is pretty popular, so I feel like people will have a good concept of the size of this bag. Here is the Mini Roll compared to the Alma. So if you look at the bottom of these two bags, they're actually pretty similar in width. And as you can see, the Mini Roll is a lot thicker all the way up, whereas here the Alma starts to get pretty thin near the top and is a little thinner, I would say, like right around here than this one is. That said, the Alma is significantly taller overall, so I imagine this one would be able to obviously fit a lot more than the Mini Roll does. And again, here is how everything fits for reference. So they all have roughly the same carrying capacity, except the Neverfull BB and the Alma are taller. All right, so now let's talk about the pros and cons. Now, obviously for the pros, I just love how cute this bag is. I love the colorway. I do feel like it's a bit more unique. It's very neutral. It's not that classic dark brown Zucca print, which I do like, and they do have that version if you like that look. But for me, I just feel like this lighter color really elevates the look of the bag. Like, this jacquard really pops, in my opinion. And I feel like it's neutral enough that I can wear it throughout the year, not just in the summer. And I already know that I like the silhouette because I have the Neverfull BB. So overall, I do feel like there are a lot of things that I love. Obviously, again, I love the zipper top for added security and that the D-rings are on the side and they're not catty corner. I hate bags that have catty corner D-rings. Again, I tend to go for bags that are roughly this size or smaller because I do think this size looks proportionate, looks good on me when I wear it crossbody. And also, I like the fact that these handles stay up so that when I wear it crossbody, they don't like flip down. I like the look of it this way. And finally, I love that the leather is already treated, so it's not that raw vachetta like the Neverfull BB. I don't have to worry about babying this bag as much in terms of the leather. Now, in terms of cons, I do wish that the bag had feet, especially because it is this light cloth that I do think that it's going to be more prone to getting dirty. That said, I do have handbag heels, so I will show you those and put them on real quick. So these are just little magnets that you clip this circular one on the inside of the bag, and then the square one will go on the outside. Now, this is not sponsored in any way. I know I talk about these a lot, but I talk about them a lot because I just think they are such a smart, innovative product. They are made and designed by the Gals Guide blog, who is a fellow YouTuber in this community. And I just think these are the coolest. And so I really do use them a lot in real life. And so I like to share them with you guys. So I'll leave a link to where you can buy them in the description below as well. I don't get any commission. I don't get any kickbacks. I just honestly love this product. All right, so here they are on the bag. As you can see, they have a pretty strong magnet on them, so they're not going to fall off. But I just think they add a little extra style to the bag because it does have like gold hardware detailing. So it does feel very cohesive to the look. But then also now when I put the bag down, it has just a little more added protection there as well. So moving on though, obviously because the bag is a light color, I think another major con is just the risk of it getting dirty. Again, because it is this cloth material, there's a risk of color transfer as well. I do plan to spray this with Scotchgard. I did actually spray a different bag recently with Scotchgard, and so far so good. I will obviously cover all the leather bits to protect those, but I think since it is cloth, Scotchgard should do pretty well on here and hopefully will help prevent, you know, major staining and help repel water a bit. Also, I'm honestly not a huge fan of this strap. This is the normal Fendi strap. It also comes like this on my Fendi By the Way. I just feel like it's really thin and it's kind of blah. I hate how it connects with this little button. I prefer when it connects with the normal lobster clasp because this is kind of a pain. But overall, I just think the strap is really plain. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't add probably another pattern on a strap because it would probably get too busy. I just think I would have preferred if the strap were just slightly thicker and connected with the clasp instead of this little button system. Another thing to note is that the bag lacks structure. So if you do overstuff this bag, you are going to see maybe some indents if everything isn't shaped 100% perfectly to the silhouette of the bag. So, you know, of course, because it's soft though, you can kind of like squish things around to make things fit, but it's not going to be like the Alma BB or even like the Neverfull that has kind of that thicker canvas. This one, it's going to show a little bit more. Now, I think you could use a bag insert and that would help, but to me, I would prefer not to do that because I think it would take up a lot of the capacity inside the bag. So I don't think I'm going to use a full insert, but I might put something like a little mini piece of thick felt down at the bottom of this bag just to give it a little more foundation at the bottom, and that might help with the overall structure. And finally, I think something else I already mentioned is the fact that there aren't any interior pockets in this bag. And I do just always like to have an interior pocket for organization. So to me, that is a con, but again, it is not a deal breaker. So overall, do I think it is worth it? I honestly like this bag a lot. I think I would probably put this under my list of impulse purchases because I did kind of discover this bag while I was on my trip and then promptly went and purchased it on that same trip. But I just, you know, it's one of those things where sometimes when it comes to impulse purchases, I feel like obviously you have to have the financial means to do it. I'm not saying go out and spend beyond what you can afford, but I do think sometimes impulse purchases work because you just know when you know, like you know when something is going to be your taste, your style. the right fit for you. And for me, that was this bag. I just saw it and I knew I was going to love it. I knew it was going to be something that I would incorporate easily into my wardrobe. So I do think I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. I think that for me, from a versatility standpoint, this one will stand that test of time. So, you know, for me, this is definitely a winner. That said, I do think the price of $17.50 is a bit steep for a cloth bag. So again, I think it's really going to come down to what each person defines for themselves, what is that value and what is worth to them. Given I already have the Neverfull BB, which looks very, very similar, some might argue that I don't need this one. And I mean, need is a very strong word. I don't need any of these things, but I do think that this bag looks quite different from the Neverfull BB in terms of style and colors. So for me, I am really glad to have both in my collection. But let me know what you think below. I don't know. I'm the type of girl that I'll have a pair of jeans and I'll get another pair, but there will be something different. So they're different. Maybe I'm just convincing myself, but I am, like I said, really happy to have both of these in my collection. So that wraps up my review. So now again, what do you think about this bag? Do you think it is worth the price tag? And are you into this mini tote look? Because now, like I said, I have two of these mini tote bag styles. Definitely share in the comments below. As always, I love just chatting with you guys and talking about bags. I don't have a lot of people in my life that share the same obsession and passion for bags like this. And so being able to have this community here where I can chat with you guys and get your opinions and ask you what you think just really means so much to me, to be able to know and meet other people who share this same passion. So I'm really thankful for all of you. And for those of you who are watching who are fellow bag lovers like myself and the others here, and you haven't joined my channel, please feel free to like and subscribe. I would love to have you as a part of this community. If you want to watch more of my videos, I'll include my playlist of bag reviews right here. Otherwise, bye for now.